The next story is about a couple of ghosts in the home. We're a ghost podcast again. We're back. On two separate occasions, I have seen a figure standing in my bedroom. The first, I was 8 or 9. The second time was last year. Starting about 2 to 3 years ago, I began hearing two distinct voices in my house. One is a female voice, and the other male. The weirdest part about it is that I think the female is a lot more benevolent and pranky than the male. Like when I'm home alone, I'll hear what I think is my mother calling me from downstairs. Creepy. Don't ever answer those calls.
Nope, never.
And this is their first mistake, only to go down and realize no one is there. Once I came home and opening the door, I heard the female voice say, "Oh, he's home." To which I replied, "What's for supper?" When I realized that it wasn't my mother, I yelled out, "It's not funny." And then heard laughter, not evil laughter, just haha, we got him kind of laughter, coming from my bedroom. The male voice has never done anything particularly malevolent, but I have heard really loud screaming in various parts of my house. Well, they're just upset with the female ghost at that point. Like, ah! Oh, I've had it.
I'm like, if you get a male and a female ghost, you know there's going to be
There's some bickering.
Oh, I was going a different direction.
Sexual tension.
Close to that.
Ghostly. Yeah, we're getting Patrick Swayze on it now.
Ghostly fornication.
Wow. And somehow worse than sexual tension, fornication. There's no way this video is ever going to make it to the monetization standard.
No, that's why I use fornication.
Oh, perfect.
I was thinking.
He saved us, folks. We thought it was gross and off-putting, but he was doing us a solid.
Yep.
The male has never done anything particularly malevolent, but I have heard really loud screaming in various parts of my house. Once, when I was about 10 to 11, I got into a habit of covering my head with a blanket. As I was lying in bed, I heard a voice right near my head say, "Do what you want. We know you're still there." And that's creepy. That wasn't a fun night. I've also heard the male voice singing what sounded like an Irish folk song. There you go, folksy ghosts. It all sounds a bit insane, but that's only because I'm giving about 10 years of stories in a couple paragraphs. These things don't happen every day, usually months apart when I've stopped thinking about them. That's a creepy thing to think, because as a kid, that's your go-to move. You're like, covers over the head, nothing is here. I probably did that like 6-7 days a week.
Me too.
As a kid, you're like, what's that noise? Nothing?
Yeah.
In my fortress. Surely they can't penetrate this cloth that is protecting me now. Hearing it say, "Do what you want, we know you're still there," I would lose it. There wouldn't be a single day where I didn't sleep in my parents' bed after that.
These actually don't sound like scary ghosts, though.
But as a kid, you're 10 or 11 years old, and you're sleeping at night, and you put your covers over your head because you're freaked out, and you hear, "Do what you want, we know you're still there." You're going to be terrified. Dude, that's not something you're just going to be like, ha, 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 ha. It's fine.
We still see you under the covers.
Yeah, we know you're there, chump.
That's not a sacred cover blessed by the church.
Yeah, you got to mail that off to the Pope and get it back before we start questioning things, all right?
Exactly.
Now, what do you think about the mimicry of the female ghost? Where it's like, you think it's your mom? Because have you ever had stuff like that where you feel like someone calls your name?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You go check and they're like, "I didn't say anything to you." Does that like give you the chills a little bit? Or are you just like, "Oh, I must be mental"?
That's usually what I'm like,
I figured that's your go-to.
I'm
like,
things.
The demons are here again.
And as we've mentioned in other videos, you don't acknowledge the demons.
Yeah. Or the voices at all. And that sounds insane. Don't acknowledge the voices.
I mean, you got to be careful. You don't know if they're voices or demons. They're ghosts, spawns of Satan. So you just don't acknowledge them and play it safe. That's what all of our ancestors used to say throughout time. Yeah,
and the same logic applies whether you're in the woods and you hear a friend calling to you from just beyond the shrubs, or you're in your house and you hear your mom calling you from a dark basement. You say, "You know what, Mom? If it was that important, get your ass up here, you lazy." Don't say that to your mom. That ends horribly. Ends horribly.
Yeah, I noticed you only say that kind of stuff when your mom's out of town.
Yeah. Yeah, she left a couple weeks ago, so I'm free to say whatever I want. Yeah. You can't stop me, Mom. You can't ground me anymore. I'm a grown man. This is my ghost podcast.
Because you've pierced the veil of being a bad child, you might see ghosts.
Yeah.
That's a reason.
It would be great fodder for the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, but
I'm ready.
That's what us parents have used to scare their kids into listening. There's ghosts under your bed. They don't say it when you're
Good
awake.
night, son.
Yeah, they don't say it when you're awake. They come in, sneak into your room in the middle of the night,
and they say, "We know you're still there."
Exactly.
That'd be really messed up if it's just the parent.
and nowadays they have auto-tuners, so they can change their voice.
Yeah, T-Pain is under your bed. "We know you're still there." Yeah, classic.